Hello and welcome back to our HIP New World Order campaign. In our last episode we declared our holy war for the Duchy of, what was it called, Dumayat down here, which is proceeding just fine. I don't think we're going to have any problems. Just waiting for our sieges to finish at this point. We haven't seen any substantial army from the enemy here. And we will take some prisoners, of course. The Jerusalemite revolt that we were helping out with has just gotten to 100%, so that should be over. And indeed it is. Let's get our retinue over in this area in case we need them. Actually, let's have them go straight into this county and siege that. Apparently we can go over the desert, which I didn't realize. Good to know. My prisoner is complaining about his dark cell in the dungeon. We will let him rot, but we'll also probably try to ransom all of our prisoners, since we have quite a lot of them. Chaplain is accusing this guy of heresy. He's probably fine. That little brat Amadeus threw up on me while we were dining. Ew. That's not very smart of you, Amadeus. My lady, the Duke sends word of enemy courtiers found at Dumayat and wishes to know if you desire any of them as prisoners. We will, of course, take all of them. Aztecs are changing crown laws, that's fine. Or laws of some kind. This guy, probably not a heretic either. He looks like a good Christian if ever I saw one. Won another siege down here. We're up to 50% overall. Oh, and the Seljuk of Seljuk's host has declared the conquest of Galilee on the Queen of Jerusalem. So we're probably going to have to help out with this as well. Fortunately, we have a substantial portion of our army in the area already. And she's called us in. We will accept. Apparently she called in Antioch also. Did she? I don't think she can call in a vassal, now that I think about it. Yeah, they must be doing something else. Oh, she's revoking a county, alright. Well, that's fine. So there's an army from the host, maybe that's the whole thing, we don't know really. Let's see. That is the whole army, so probably doesn't even really need our help. Let's send our retinue up there. And let me mute this and call you back later. Okay. Subject converted. That's fine. They are going to lose that battle probably, but our hosts or our retinue should be able to take care of the remainder. Let's hope so. Ooh, and here is a pretty large army from the Banu Hilal Emirate. Whom I'm guessing is a vassal of this guy? Because otherwise I don't think we would be hostile to them. Well, this county in here is plains. Hopefully we can change their mind with a few reinforcements here. We did, but then we're leaving this very low, so let's actually leave half there and just send that many. Balance things out a bit. And apparently Jerusalem won this battle here, so that's good for them. Or did they? I don't see their army. But the war is at 91% in our favor, and the enemy army is at low morale, so something happened. Should be able to clean it up either way. Oh, and we're being offered peace at only 87%. Okay, we accept. So we gain all the land, we can use our grant recently acquired land button to just give it all out to random nobles. Since we were going to give the duchy just south of this to the prospective queen, I think. And we're not going to need these troops for the host war here, so we can just disband them. And I didn't mean to disband the ones that weren't actually in my territory there, but apparently I selected them too. That's fine. And we can usurp the duchy, so we will do that. And we'll give it to him. So I don't know if we're going to go so far as to conquer the whole kingdom of Misr before granting it independence, because it seems like that would be a fairly long job. We might just conquer enough that we're able to usurp the kingdom title and then do it. I think we're probably pretty far away from that at the moment. Oh, in fact, we're not going to be able to usurp it until we take all of his land, apparently, so might have to be in it for the long haul, whether we want to be or not. Prisoners complaining about his dark cell, he can rot. But we'll see if we can ransom some more. Apparently this is only going to ransom one prisoner. We're still left with 63. Alright, well that's the host invasion of Jerusalem over, so we're at peace again. And I think I might as well see if we can manually ransom some of these people. But there's so many of them that I'm not going to go to too much trouble. We'll go through one time and then just probably release the rest of them. And apparently none of them are worth any more than 10 gold. It's kind of a disappointment. Would have expected to have at least a few high-value prisoners in there. That's okay. And there's another independence revolt against the Aztecs, which sucks for them. And an Irish Holy War has ended inconclusively for some reason. Against the Aztecs, I'm assuming? Oh, probably they were declaring for a part of the Aztec Empire that has subsequently revolted. Okay. So we'll take our ransoms to the crazed cow, Damiana. Wow. That's a good one. I am a lunatic, I can't deny it. Okay. And we have 666 holdings right now in our realm. But we can probably just go ahead and release all prisoners now. The dungeons haven't been cleared out in a very long time. We still have all these guys, I guess former rebel leaders probably. We could probably just execute these people. No? Just manually release them, I don't care. We will... Okay, I guess we've already released them. That's probably what's going on there. Alright, there we go. An empty dungeon for once. And you improve the opinion of the Queen here, that's good. We actually have some boats raised here, which we don't need. Let's get rid of them. And up here for that matter. So, now that we're at peace, we can probably queue up a feast for November. Which will be nice. And we are going to have to wait for our Holy War cooldown to finish before we can declare our next Holy War over here. But that's fine. We are preparing for the feast, yes. We could occupy ourselves with maybe a war or two in Europe in the meantime. Our granddaughter here needs an education. So, I think we're too worried about the Queen of Antioch. Let's give her to this Duke. And you have succeeded in your mission to convert whichever county you were working on down here. Leaves us with just one more to work on. Conjurer produced a rabbit from a hat, then made a handkerchief change color from red to, or from brown to red, then he simply vanished from the room. Only to knock on the door and open it a few seconds later. We will have him perform at the feast. And this fire eater also. And we had a granddaughter born, a quick one. Okay. And we'll spend just enough to satisfy everyone's hunger here. So for wars in Europe, I don't know, I think I mostly care about tidying up our borders if we can. I think maybe if we could conquer all of Savoy, that would be a good way to do it. We'll invite all of these people to the feast. We could take this county back from Dauphine. Speaking of whom, how are they doing against that host invasion? They're about to win, okay. We may have a de jure claim on this county. We can subjugate ruler on him. We can claim Rethel for this guy, who I'm not sure is a vassal of ours or not. We have all sorts of claimants to the whole duchy. I don't really want the duchy, I just want this county. This guy refuses our invitation. Very rude. He's currently wounded though, so maybe he'll die. So the claimant to the county here, I'm assuming he actually has to be our vassal, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to press his claim. Obviously not our direct vassal, but he is under that duke. Okay, so yeah, vassal of a vassal. So should be able to press that and get the county. We'll wait till after our feast and probably declare that war. And oh, there was one county that was held by Denmark that's supposed to be ours as well. We'll definitely do that. Norway has become independent from Denmark at some point. We'll welcome everyone to the feast. The bishop here refused more wine. How dare he insult me. And King Bernhard here managed to kill his opponent before I managed to stop the duel. Was that the Duke here? Okay. So we have a new Duke, who's not too unhappy. We can say well done. We have the martial focus ourselves. We are okay with dueling. Some of my guests did not seem satisfied with the food, but I would never have thought one of them would have complained out loud. This mayor is extremely rude. Otto asks if a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to hear it, doesn't make a noise. So we have yet another chance to potentially make him diligent. Let's see. We did, okay. Conjures magic tricks, enchanted and charmed my guests at the feast. Especially the bishop here. And people exclaimed in wonder and fear when the fire eaters performed. Gained 10 prestige, and King Bernhard is extremely happy. And I started talking to one of my guests at the feast and found them most interesting. Hours flew by, wine bottles were emptied. Other guests excused themselves and went to bed, but we kept talking until the wee hours. So we become great friends with the king here, which is good. We shouldn't have any future problems with his opinion. Probably among our most powerful vassals, if I had to guess. Actually is our most powerful vassal. So definitely a good thing to have him as a friend. Okay. So let's go ahead and declare war for the claim on this county. And I think we'll declare on Denmark at the same time. We should be able to do both simultaneously without too much trouble. And I guess we'll declare on behalf of the Duke here, since we would just be giving the county to him anyway. So let's raise the levy of Flanders up here and just park that on top of our target county, and we should be able to very easily raise the levy of our friend the king, and maybe send this over there. And this 14,000 is probably... Actually, how many did they have? 20,000 or so? 27,000. We're probably going to need to raise a few more than that up this area. $26,000. We'll go a little further. That should be plenty. Queen of Jerusalem releasing prisoners. Possibly following our example. Your mission to somewhere has been a success. You improved the opinion of this count. Alright. Probably not too helpful, but I appreciate it. You're taking a break from discussing war plans with your fellow commanders and decide to start chatting with one of your guards. He tells you, my cousin is out fighting infidels. What do I get? Guard duty. We'll tell him to worry not and gain a couple of prestige. And we lost a trade post up here. Not a big deal. We'll get 20,000 on the way up to fight the small army of Denmark that we can see currently. Oh, and we have a peasant revolt as well. Okay, so I'll have to deal with this. Oh, and there's a Danish army over here for some reason. Okay. Well, that's fine. We can deal with both of those. And we gained a tithe, which is very good. And some free technology. And the Aztec Emperor has died a natural death. Okay. I'm not sure what kind of succession he had. I guess he would have only had the one Empire level title, so it doesn't matter if it was Gavelkind. We now have a 2-year-old Emperor on the throne there. Okay, let's get our 11,000 here on its way down to deal with the rebels, and we'll just ignore the Danish army for the moment. History is a subject that has always fascinated you, and you have spent the last few weeks studying the campaigns of Alexander the Great. There are many lessons you have learned from his conquests in the East. So we gain +1 martial, which is very good. Our battle has started up here, which should not be a problem. We won, captured a duchess. So we'll get you into our target county up there. Alright, well we're out of time for this episode, so we'll have to leave it here and continue our various wars in the next one. So thanks for watching, and join me again then.